Deep within the frozen pine forests of Maine stood an abandoned farmhouse known as Willows Farm. Built in the 1970s, the old wooden house once belonged to the Blackwood family, a family known for their warmth, laughter, and holiday gatherings. Until one winter night, a terrible accident killed every member of the family. Since then, the farmhouse had remained empty. Locals whispered that the house hated being alone, and during the long Maine winters, it searched for company. Ethan Brooks, a freelance photographer from Boston, hadn't been the same since losing his 7-year-old daughter Lily in a tragic car accident the year before. The grief consumed him. Sleep became impossible. Every photograph reminded him of her. Hoping to escape the pain and find inspiration for a new photography project, Ethan rented the isolated farmhouse for a week with his 2 closest friends. Mark Reyes, a practical-minded sound engineer obsessed with recording natural ambient audio, and Chloe Bennett, a travel writer fascinated by haunted American folklore. When they arrived, the elderly caretaker, Old Sam, handed Ethan the rusted keys with trembling hands, his pale eyes locked onto Ethan's. "Winter nights in Maine are long," Sam whispered. "And if you hear music coming from the basement after midnight..." He paused. "Don't follow it." The first 2 nights passed peacefully, but on the 3rd night, everything changed. Outside, a brutal blizzard swallowed the forest. Snow hammered the windows. The pine branches scraped against the glass like fingernails trying to get inside. At exactly 11:45 p.m., the power died. The farmhouse plunged into darkness. Mark switched on his professional sound recorder, listening through his headphones for storm ambience. Suddenly, his expression changed. Slowly, he removed the headphones and handed them to Ethan. "You need to hear this." Ethan pressed the headphones against his ears. Beneath the howling wind, he heard a faint melody. Soft, delicate, a child's music box. His blood turned cold. It was the exact lullaby Lily listened to before bed every night, and it was coming from the basement. Something deep inside, Ethan pulled him toward the basement door. "Ethan, don't," Chloe warned nervously. "Sam told us not to go down there." But Ethan's eyes filled with tears. That was Lily's music box. His voice cracked. How is that possible? With flashlights shaking in their hands, the 3 descended into the rotting basement. The air felt unnaturally heavy. And strangely, the room smelled like sandalwood perfume, Lily's favorite scent. At the center of the basement stood an old wooden table. Resting on it was a dusty vintage music box. Without anyone touching it, the tiny ballerina inside slowly spun in circles while the melody played. Then Mark's sound recorder suddenly spiked into the red, and a child's voice whispered through the darkness. "Daddy, you came." Chloe screamed and grabbed Mark's arm, but Ethan stepped forward in tears. On the dusty basement walls were tiny handprints, and written between them were the words, "I miss you, Daddy." Ethan collapsed to his knees. "Lily, I'm sorry. I couldn't save you." Then, slam, the basement door exploded shut. The temperature dropped instantly. Their breath froze in the air. The flashlights flickered violently before dying completely. Darkness swallowed the room, and from the far corner, a pale blue light slowly appeared. But it wasn't Lily. Something else stood there, tall, twisted, covered in living shadows. Its glowing red eyes burned like hot coals. And though it spoke with Lily's voice, its smile was impossibly wide. The thing fed on grief. It mimicked lost loved ones, and it had been waiting for Ethan. The creature tilted its head unnaturally and laughed with a monstrous growl. "She's never coming back, Ethan. The walls trembled, but you can stay with me forever." Mark and Chloe desperately tried forcing the basement door open. It wouldn't budge. The entity slowly crawled closer across the floor like a living shadow. That's when Ethan realized the horrifying truth. This thing had used Lily's memory as bait. Reaching into his coat pocket, Ethan pulled out Lily's final keepsake, a small silver locket. Tears streamed down his face as he clutched it tightly. "You are not my daughter." His voice echoed through the darkness. "Lily's soul is at peace," the creature screamed. The entire basement shook violently. And suddenly, the locket exploded with brilliant white light. A shockwave blasted through the basement. The door flew open. Mark and Chloe escaped up the stairs just as the floor collapsed behind them. Flames erupted from beneath the farmhouse. By sunrise, Willows Farm was nothing but ashes. Police never found Ethan's body. Mark and Chloe tried telling authorities what happened that night. No one believed them. But even today, deep in the forests of Maine, campers sometimes report hearing a soft music box melody drifting through the snow during winter storms. And hidden beneath the wind comes the peaceful voice of a father who finally found his daughter again.